Welcome to AstatorTV. In this video, I will share my impressions of the game Enshrouded, as released in early access on Steam in January 2024. This is meant to be a quick overview that highlights the most interesting features and that avoids any major spoilers. I can describe Enshrouded as an hybrid between an action-adventure game in the style of Zelda Breath of the Wild and a survival game such as Valheim or Ark Survival Evolved. Despite the content being limited with around half of the area of the map being inaccessible during early access, there is still a lot to explore. The world is absolutely gorgeous. The handcrafted map layout is generally well designed, although sometimes a bit convoluted to help guide the flow of progression. However, if you desire to bypass some of the obstacles, you can try leveraging the extremely well implemented mining feature. Of course, it is also used to harvest some resources and, if you wish, to terraform an area to construct a base. Tunnels contribute to the feeling of freedom while playing this game. Another element that is enhancing freedom is the fun glider system. You just have to avoid dying by landing on a lava lake, which might have been my single biggest source of frustration, especially when located at the bottom of a slippery slope. Another danger is the shroud mechanism, which is similar to clouds of poisonous air. This signature feature is very successfully implemented. This is a temporary additional layer of survival threat that brings a sense of urgency. The melee combat gameplay is simple and responsive. However, there is an auto-target system that makes the combat casual and less interesting in my opinion. This is especially problematic for the ranged weapons, for which the player does not contribute much to the success of an attack, and therefore there is no sense of self-improvement throughout the experience. I think this combat gameplay style does not bring much in terms of long-term replayability value. However, I do understand that this is a design choice that might be more appealing for the less experienced gamers. It also eases experimentation with the various weapon types and talents options. The talent system is well designed around 12 general archetypes, and picking any custom mix is allowed. The choices do have a meaningful impact on gameplay. Another well-implemented system is crafting. It is fun to unlock new possibilities as new materials and tools are discovered. The interface and menus are beautiful and efficient. You can remap all hotkeys, and there are some gameplay options. What do not have a lot of options is the character customization. I personally do not mind it, as armor is going to cover most of the look anyway. What does have a lot of options is the construction system. This is mostly optional gameplay, but I suspect this is where the most long-term replay value exists if you enjoy building and decorating. The textures are beautiful and numerous based on the diverse choices of materials. The system to place the building pieces will need some ease of use improvement. Unfortunately, the shapes are currently limited to 90-degree corners for floors and walls and 45 degrees angle for roofs. Nonetheless, I am eager to see some of the constructions from players that will make use of deep excavations and tunnels. Yet another example of a well-implemented system in this game is the questing, which does not feel intrusive and integrates a good amount of lore. Art style, most animations and sound effects are positive contributors as well. The day and night cycle is also a big win. There is room for improvement in the area of expanding the music soundtrack and the diversity of enemies. There are a few minor bugs to fix as well, but I deem those acceptable for an early access release. I would love it if the developers introduced a more challenging setting option without auto-targeting and resource respawn. I estimate there is around 50 to 80 hours of quality content, so Enshrouded is already a good purchase if you love discovering a new world. There is even more value if you enjoy constructing. I have one final note, but first please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this review. If you consider playing with friends, be aware that this will be a co-op experience where you will share the progress. It will not be a multiplayer experience where you will compete with other players on the same map in the manner of V-Rising, for example. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.